Welcome to the Jill Sinclair Show, where I bring you real conversations about life and business to help you to uncover your success blockers. Now, first of all, what the hell are success blockers, Sinclair? Success blockers are anything that get in your way for all of the goals you have. So success blockers could be your lack of motivation, and we're going to talk about that. That's the first question that's come in, actually. Lack of motivation, your fear of success, your fear of failure, your mind blockers that are coming in there that maybe your parents told you you're not good enough. A lot of us have had that shit, by the way. So success blockers are anything that are getting in your way of your success for life, okay? So I'm here to bring you real, raw, uncensored conversation because that's what life is. We don't want this to be all tied up in a nice, neat bow. And by the way, I don't have an island. So I'm going to be the realest human that you can relate to through my experiences and through those people that I coach. So these experiences are going to be highly relatable and you can implement them into your life. Okay, the first question was from Matthew. Now, Matthew said, Jill, how the hell do I stay motivated during COVID? Well, Matthew, my short answer to you is you don't. You absolutely don't. Because guess what? Motivation is enthusiasm, excitement. And do we have that right now? We don't. We do not have the enthusiasm or excitement to do much of anything, really, because half of us aren't even in face-to-face meetings anymore. So how do you get that enthusiasm and motivation? Well, you want to trade that in. Just like you're going to trade in an old car, you want to trade in the motivation for commitment. Because it's interesting, motivation, my next book is actually called The Motivation Myth. Motivation is just like a unicorn. It's really hard to get and it's really hard to keep. So with that in mind, again, let's trade in that old motivation for commitment. Now, where does commitment come from? Commitment comes from your goals and how much you want them. So here's the thing, Matthew, what is your why behind your goal? What is the why behind this? So you mentioned that you want to start your side hustle. So what is your side hustle? And why do you want it? Do you want your side hustle to become your front hustle? Why do you want the side hustle? Is it to maybe get more holiday time with your family because you eventually want to make it your front hustle? Or do you want to just have it always on the side, some extra pocket money? Why do you want this? Do you want it to be a legacy for your family? Do you want your kids to take it over? Why do you want it? Because if your why is strong enough, you will have that commitment to yourself. If your why isn't compelling, well, you're not going to do it. So look at your why first. Why is your why what is your why behind your goal to have this side hustle? What is your why? And then once you uncover your why, then you look at, okay, what is my commitment level to that? What am I going to commit to today to get me closer to it? So as I mentioned, my next book is called The Motivation Myth, and it's all about just telling people, like, you don't have to be motivated. And when do I write my book? I write it at night. So after I finish my day, after I finish my podcast, my vlogs, my all that, and my client meetings and my volunteering, then I sit in front of my computer and I'm just like, because I love to write. But for me, I time block it. Because if I didn't, then I wouldn't get it done. You know, everything else would get in the way. Everything else would come up. But it's my commitment to complete this book because I want to give it to you, to everyone out there, to say that you need to understand that motivation is something that we don't achieve at all times. And we shouldn't be looking for it because it's just like a unicorn. Remember, hard to get and really hard to keep. So Matthew, again, look at your why behind you wanting to start your side hustle. And look at that. Is it compelling enough for you to start a schedule and look at your agenda and say, okay, you know what, every day from 6 to 9, I'm going to work on my side hustle and I'm going to be committed to that because I want this to be a legacy for my kids. I want this to be a legacy for those in my family so they can start a business on their own as well or do their own side hustle or whatever it is. Uncover your why and look at your commitment from there. So Matthew, hope that helped you. The next one is from Tina. So Tina is also asked, she's like, Jill, how do I stay motivated to exercise? Because I keep on jumping on and jumping off that wagon. Well, Tina, join the club, girl, join the club. Guess what? Motivation with exercise is the biggest myth out there. People do not feel motivated. They just don't. And it's where your commitment comes in right now, Tina. You have to look at, why do you want to be fit? Or do you want to be fit? Is that your goal? Do you want to run a marathon? Do you want to be in a triathlon? Like, what do you want? Do you just want to maybe lose 10 pounds? Do you want to gain 10 pounds of muscle? I don't know what your goal is with that, but look at what your goal is and also how you're going to feel with that. Also, Matthew, loop in with this one as well. How you're going to feel when you get that goal. Are you going to feel healthy? Are you going to feel like you've got more energy, that you've got the time to spend with your kids because you're not a lump on the couch anymore? Look at why you want to be fit. Is it other people coming in at you saying, you got to be this, you got to be that? Or is it your decision, Tina? Tina, understand that being fit is something that is a commitment. Just like I said with Matthew, it's a commitment to yourself. Guess what? I do not feel like exercising half the time, but what do? I put on my runners and I lace up and I just head out the door. I don't even think about it, because the more you sit and you think about it, the more you're going to talk yourself out of it. Come on now, right? You're going to talk yourself out. There's going to be so many excuses. You're going to be saying like, oh, the fridge has to be cleaned. I've got dust bunnies, or whatever it is. You're going to come up with excuses. So like Mel Robbins said, that she's got the 5-second rule. You count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you just get at it. With me, I just get at it. I don't bother with the 5 seconds. I just get into action. Because the more you get into action, the more you're actually going to accomplish something. So just start moving, Tina, because you have to realize that, again, motivation, your pom-poms are gone. Your pom-poms, you've dropped them a long time ago. So is your commitment to yourself, is that going to be strong enough? So instead of saying you're going to work out 5 days a week or 7, I was going to say 10, but there's only 7 days in a week, go for 3 days a week. Work out 3 days a week, that's it. And commit to that. Make sure you put it in your schedule. So this is going to be a common sense thing for me every time we're talking about commitment to yourself, is you have to put it in your schedule. Because if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. So just like you'd book a doctor's appointment or a plane ride when we get to travel again, you're going to book your exercise in. So for me, I booked my exercise in today at 5 o'clock because I've got a smoking busy day. And so normally I'm going to either do it right in the morning first thing, or I'm going to do it at the end of my day before I start my writing. But it's in my calendar, because if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. So start to get in the habit of putting it in there. And then you're going to start to get in the commitment of that, because that's all it is. It's just a commitment. So are you committed to yourself? Because if you can't commit to yourself, how can you also commit to others? You need to look at the whole process of this. It's not just exercising. It is about being healthy. Because don't you want to be healthy for your kids? Don't you want to be there to see their grandkids? Or your grandkids, I guess, is going to be their kids popping out. But you have to look at the why behind it, and understanding that you haven't come this far, to only come this far and to collapse on the couch every single night. To get healthy means you got a healthy mind as well. You got a healthy mind, you got a healthy body. It doesn't matter what size you are. Good Lord. I mean, I've been up, I've been down, and now I've been stabilized for about, well, that sounds weird, but I've been stabilized for the last 2 years because I've gotten again in my rhythm. I've got a lot of injuries because of overuse. And so I've had to work with some injuries, and I've had to get rejuvenated. I feel like I need new body parts here, but for me, it's my commitment. So if I can't run a certain day because I'm too sore, my foot is aching, whatever it is, then I'll go on the bike, or then I'll go for a walk, or then I'll do something. But my commitment to myself is where the difference lies there. Being committed to yourself and committed to your results. So how am I going to feel with that? Oh my gosh, I'm going to feel so good. I'm going to feel healthy. I'm going to feel more energetic. And I'm going to feel like I can serve better. I can serve people better because I don't have this cloudy head. When I first had my injury, my foot injury. So imagine this, you've got your foot, well, those of us who both have feet, please, that is a big thing. Some people don't have both feet. And so let's be, considerate about that. But so one of my feet, I had 2 torn ligaments. Actually, I still have 2 torn ligaments under my foot. So can you imagine the pain? It's pretty excruciating. So it feels like you're walking on glass. It's so sore. So I had a surgeon who said, Jill, if we basically fillet your calf muscle and we lengthen that, it might take off the stress that's under your foot. And the operative word here was might. So she said, Jill, it might work, it might not, but you know what? It's worth a try, isn't it? I'm like, sure, I guess. Meanwhile, I had been running 6 days a week, and that was one of the main causers for the pain here, for the two torn ligaments to happen. So I had gained 45 pounds. 45 pounds through about a year and a half, because I thought, you know what, I can't run, and I use that as an excuse. I didn't start any other form of exercise. I just went into this kind of not dark mode, but a mode that I was like, you know what, doesn't matter. Eventually it'll come off. So, I was drinking my weight in wine. I was eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted it. And then I realized, Jill Sinclair, the surgery did not take. I was still in the same amount of pain. So I realized I had to take control of my life. I had to look at, Jill, you've brought yourself to this extra 45 pounds, which did not feel healthy to me on my body or in my mind. It was a whole combination of things. I was feeling lethargic. I wasn't feeling like I was the best coach I could be for my clients. And you know what? It just really sparked in me. I thought, Jill, how dare you try to coach other people on their mindset and on their goals when you've just gained 45 pounds that is unhealthy for your body? How dare you? How dare you not be in control of yourself? So that moment, it was 2 Christmases ago, like December 1, I guess it was 2018. And I realized I'm going to cut out all the wine that I was drinking, not for breakfast, but I was having it for lunch and for, the what do you call that? The 5 o'clock, whatever, wine Wednesdays. And then for dinner, and then after dinner, like literally way too much. And then when you drink too much, you eat too much, because all of a sudden you're just stuffing your face. And oh my God, I remember one time I was out with some friends, and guess what I had for dessert? A cheeseburger. I had a fucking cheeseburger for dessert. Oh my God, like seriously? So I knew I was out of control. So that December 1, I decided, Jill, get control of your life, be intentional with what you're putting in the pie hole, because right now this is not working for you. So I literally just became intentional. I cut out all the wine for the time being. I thought, I don't know if this is for good or if this is just temporary, what it was going to be. I just knew that I had to be in control of my life. So I just became not obsessive, just intentional to say, okay, am I hungry? Because if you're not hungry, don't eat. Don't be sitting there eating mindlessly this big bag of Cheetos, because that's not going to help with your motivation. Because remember, motivation is flighty, and so is the sugar insulin levels that go up and down. So get intentional with what you're doing with yourself. Just look at, am I hungry? Am I eating because I'm hungry, or am I eating just because it's there? So once you become intentional with your life, life becomes intentional with you. So again, in regards to motivation, motivation is a myth. It's just like a unicorn. It's really hard to get, and it's really hard to keep. So I'm asking you to trade out your motivation, like that old beater car that you have, and trade it for your commitment to yourself. Because that's where it's at, my friends. Commitment to yourself is going to get you towards your goals. So whether it's going to be your side hustle, or whether it's going to be losing weight, gaining weight, whatever it is for you, it's going to be that commitment. And start to time block those activities into your life. So whether you're going to start that side hustle, time block that in after your normal work hours or before your normal work hours. And with your fitness, block that in. Start off with just 3 days a week, and then go from there. You're going to start to feel healthy, because you're going to start to value yourself and value your time. Again, this is the Jill Sinclair Show. Thanks so much for listening. Submit all your questions. Go to jillsinclair.com, and also tap the button to subscribe, and you're going to be notified for all the next episodes. Follow Ms. Jill Sinclair online on Instagram. And as well, we're going to be diving into this book, Hustler Sophisticate, which is a business book that I wrote, I guess, going on about a year and a half ago. And we're going to go through, we've got 25 titles here. We're talking about, let's get into this for a second. We're going to be talking about the art of negotiation. What is success, and do you deserve it? It's not fair. A lot of people are saying it's not fair. Okay, sunshine, we'll get into that in the following weeks. Building your A-team, managing what is your style. We've got so many subjects to cover on this. Hustler Sophisticate, get your copy at amazon.ca as well as amazon.com. And join me here next week. I'm coming at you every single week to bring you real conversations to uncover your success blockers in your life and in your business. So be sure to hit the subscribe button. Go follow me, Ms. Jill Sinclair, on Instagram.